this is Kelli.
And this is Sue.
And welcome to Front Porch AF.
Where we gather with friends and neighbors on our audio front porch.
Well, have a drink and
share a laugh.
And
figure out how to solve all the problems of the world. You got it. You finally got it. You finally got it. The grammar police are so thrilled. Right. We chose a prepositional phrase over a possessive for those of you keeping score.
That's right. I'm just glad to be out of grammar jail.
Let me see. Anything you wanted to especially talk about before we get into the meat?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll just like what's going on, right? And it's been kind of quiet, but it's gotten cool, right? We had a really nice cool snap, so it's like fire pit season.
Yeah. Well, by the way, when this show airs, it'll probably be 90 degrees every day.
Yeah, right.
And we'll be looking back on this show and saying, remember when it was 75 degrees?
That's right.
Welcome to Tennessee.
Oh, whiplash with the weather. But I got a brand new fire pit. I got a new fire ring, and I'm super excited about it. It's got it's like a solid metal piece. It's like about 16 inches high. And then it's got cut out of it a girl with a horse and then a hound dog and then another girl with a horse and then a hound dog around the ring.
And you're going to give us pictures to post on the web.
When I haven't done my inaugural fire yet. It was made by Janice and Tom Wise. They're up in Pennsylvania. I met them through horse camp riding. They're good friends with Robin, and it is just fantastic. I don't know if they're going to be listening to the show, but they have Wise Custom Metal Designs up in Pennsylvania, and they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, we'll get a picture. I'll go over and jump in the fire myself. Well, not really, but
that wouldn't be anything new for you.
What are we drinking?
Well, I'm drinking a Miller Lite.
This is such a surprise, such a shock.
But
and the Huggy.
I have this great Huggy from Molly's on the Market. This is down in New Orleans in the French Quarter. This is mine and Piper's favorite place to go hang out. They have this great little window open that you can sit in, and it's got a little shelf, and you sit there and just have your cocktails, and you just watch people walk by and talk to people that are milling around the French Quarter, and some of the greatest people watching, some of the best conversation.
It's like a New Orleans front porch.
It's like a New Orleans front porch. Molly's on the Market. It's great.
And I know everybody will be shocked him having a vodka gimlet.
It's lovely vodka gimlet.
And our special guest, we won't spoil the surprise, but our special guest is having a Tecate. Yes.
With a lime, I hope.
No lime.
No lime?
No lime, but with a Front Porch AF Huggy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, you've turned our guest against me. He says Huggy.
I think it's fine either way. Just
neighborhood notes. This is my favorite part because last night I was at a loss. I was saying they're not that much interesting. No, that's not true. Lots of interesting things, but I don't think interesting for our listeners because how many lost pigs can you report on? I mean, really.
As often as they happen, it's breaking news down here, and if it's breaking news, you got to report it.
That's true. Well, just like the New York Times, all the news that's fit to print.
Everything's breaking news. But I do have some breaking news from the Bend.
Okay.
I've got fire ants.
No.
Yeah. I grew up in Mississippi and lived with fire ants my entire. They were always down there, real problematic. But I just noticed them about the first mound about 6 months ago on my property. I knew some Jean Wallace, who was on our show previously, and she lives out in Bellevue, and she's had them for a while.
What should I be looking for in my yard?
Just mound. They make mounds, and the dirt looks kind of granular.
How can we stop them?
Well, if you go on the World Wide Web and read about it, they tell you it's hopeless.
Yeah.
Oh, good, thank you. But I shouldn't send small animals out there because they'll encrust them, and it'll be like one of those nature videos, where the fire ants, close in on a injured, like an injured little cephalopod.
Right.
And,
Yeah, so yeah, you do have to.
I
worry
don't
about-
actually know what a cephalopod is. I just remember it from biology
We
in
can
10th
look it
grade.
up and
On the World
on the
Wide.
World Wide Web. But anyway, the interesting thing about fire ants, though, is they came from South America to the United States. In
Well,
19
they didn't stop them at the border. That's why we need a
that-
wall.
Exactly, but they came in 1918 in Mobile, Alabama. That's where they came from. And you know, one of the most common ways they travel is on water. They come in pots and plants and dirt and stuff, but they also will float and go all over the world, just hitch and ride, just hitchhiking.
Who knew? I mean, really. But they're actually dangerous.
I
Little
didn't know
vagabond.
this show was going to be so educational.
Oh,
I'm
trust me.
excited.
We aim to always expand our horizons.
That's right.
Which happened last night. As I said, I was bemoaning the fact that I didn't have anything interesting to say, and I was sipping on my cocktail, and my husband, Mark, also our audio guru, hello, Mark, turns to me and says, I think Kelly's coming down the road into our yard. And I went, oh, well, sure, let's get a beer out. And I looked out. It wasn't just Kelly. It was Kelly and the front loader. And and there will be pictures and video on the
good.
web because I have video. This slip of a woman is driving this big ass earth mover thing.
It's a tractor.
It's a tractor. It's bigger than anything I've ever seen in my yard. And you went down and you picked up. We had a little bit of a windstorm a couple of nights ago when you were trying to come in, and they diverted your plane to St. Louis because of some darn tornado. Anyway, and it had taken down a lot of limbs, big limbs.
Yeah, you had some big ones, big hackberry limbs.
And you just put them into that front loader, and the most amazing part was you avoided hitting my car on the way out. All hail the awesome Kelly
Oh, thanks, Sid.
and the Kelly and the front loaders.
I am one with the front end loader.
You are.
All right, a note from the research department.
Yes, please. Yes,
A
research.
cephalopod is a class of marine mollusks known for their intelligence, large heads, and numerous tentacles. Squids and octopi are
cephalopods.
they're cephalopods.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Just a note.
And so if they were on land, fire ants would cover them and eat them.
They'd be dead if they were on land.
And fire ants would cover them and eat
them. Oh, I wish. Okay. We've got the mailbag. I've got a mailbag thing. We haven't had a whole lot of messages from people, so we'd like to encourage you. Please use the Facebook, the Instagram, the website. There are messages. If you're in Spotify, you can send a message. So I understand. I've never done it myself, but I understand that all these things are possible. But we did get this. So we did get one. This was from Robin, who was our guest on the Horse Equine Therapy show. We posted a picture of the 1920s vaudeville group, the Pickle Sisters, on Facebook and on Instagram. And their stage names were Dilly, Kosher, Gherkin, and Cornichon. Yes. Anyway, Robin commented, Kelly loves her pickles.
I guess I do.
Over to you, Kelly. Any mailbag stuff?
Well, I do have to note on the Facebook comment section, there was a friend of mine from South Mississippi where I grew up. I hadn't seen her in
Did she bring the fire ants in?
Nope.
Okay.
But she did say that she uses the term huggy. And, you know, we did do that. We did a vote on Instagram, and there were some votes for huggies, but that came from me, all the different accounts I had. So it was nice to get a little validation. Thank you, Adrian.
Yes. And did you have to provide an ID every time you voted?
That's all I got.
Okay, so that's the mailbag, such as it is, and this is about the time when we go into today's theme, and we had to do a course adjustment, but we did it very quickly because we found out that we were able to get our special guest that which I'll go into a little bit later. But originally, this show had been planned as something called Got 5 Minutes, Save the World, about simple, quick actions you could take, any individual can take, to help steer your society in the direction you want it. And the first thing, we were going to go through a whole series of things, but briefly, very briefly, find an affinity group in an issue that you care about.
What's affinity group? What's an affinity group?
It means an organization that shares the same feelings. You have an affinity for,
Like a club?
Like a club, or an organization that deals with fighting fire ants, for instance.
Right.
See? And then what you do, well, maybe it's a little bit more political than that. And you research the website, sign up for a newsletter, and then when they send out calls for action, and often these calls for action have an instant link or a phone number that you can just punch, and in less than a minute, you can register your feeling with a lawmaker or a decision maker. AARP has this, the ACLU, the Humane Society. If you sign up for those things, and especially there's one thing, and you can talk about this because you introduced me to 5 Calls.
Yeah, 5 Calls is great. It's got, there's a website, they post on Instagram, but there's an app. So you download the app, you open it up, and it tells you all the bills that are being voted on that you might be interested in, and you can click on that. And it says, here are the people who will be voting on this, and this is their phone number, and here is a script. And you can just read the script, and you don't even have, it helps so much. I usually don't read it verbatim, but I'll take that and help it,
Right.
Kind of shape what I am going to say.
And it's geared to your address. So your state representative or your congressperson
Right.
will be yours, and it'll be different for the person 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
So it's 5calls.org, and the link will be on our website.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about that, and then ring, 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 I realized that somebody who really does save the world was back in Nashville.
Yeah, and then what I love about our special guest is like we do talk about how to contact how we our representative stuff, how we feel about things, and kind of a big level. But like Jay makes an impact every day, right in in the community, and I think that's one of the things we hope to get here too.
You were we were drinking, I know, strangely enough, and I said, let's call Jay and see if we can get him on the show. Mm-hmm. So ring, 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 and he said yes, like the nice person,
like the wonderful person he is.
And here is my introduction for our special guest. He is the former pastor at the City Road Chapel at the top of the Bend. He's now pastor to 3 congregations in the Green Mountain state of Vermont. He is the very lucky husband of Mary,
Amen.
My dear friend. He is a multi-talented guitar-playing singer-songwriter, band leader of the famed Sausage Kings. He's a podcaster himself, and he is my own personal spiritual advisor. Somebody who really does save the world, the Reverend Jay Voorhees. Welcome.
Welcome,
Thank
Jay.
you. Thank you very
Welcome,
much.
Jay.
I don't know if I really saved the world, but thank you.
Yes,
Well,
you do. And
you
thanks
save
for
your
joining.
part of it, so thank you.
Yeah.
So, saving the world, saving souls. How do they converge for you?
Well, understand that for me, saving souls is about how our lives change, how are we transformed. And part of saving the world is about the transformation of those circumstances in the world where people are oppressed, where people are weighed down. How do we allow folks' lives to be transformed? Most of my work was with folks experiencing homelessness. And so a lot of it was, okay, we've got folks that have found themselves in difficult situations for a variety of reasons. And so I can't talk with them about spiritual things until they have those basic needs met. They're fed, they have a place to live, all of those kinds of things. I like to think of it in terms of the Maslow's hierarchy. You've got to deal with basic needs first before you can then get into emotional needs, and then you can get into transcendent needs. And so for me, saving the world, saving souls is about, well, it's the same thing. It's about allowing people to be able to thrive, to be healthy, to be whole, and then to also begin to think about sort of the spiritual things, the spirituality of their lives that provides meaning and purpose and draws them to be able to love one another. Ultimately, in the religious understanding that I come out of, this is all about how do we love one another. And so this is saving souls. It's just what we do because that's how we love our neighbor. It's just that's it, and it's not complicated.
Well, it is, if you can separate mentally, separate organized religion from doing right.
Well, what I would say is that, one thing I always say is there such a thing as disorganized religion? I'm sure there may be.
There must be.
I'm a Catholic, yes.
I would argue the problem is that folks sort of define organized religion and say that's the problem. The problem is bad religion. It's not organized religion. I mean, there's a lot of religious spectrum. And a lot of it has to do with our way that we understand humanity, the way we understand the world, our relationship with the world. And so yes, can we do it sort of out of a human, hey, we're just supposed to love one another because we're all humans and in this together? Absolutely. I think for me to be able to say, hey, the divine, however you want to define that, the power greater than ourselves, has created us to be in relationship with one another. That's just part of, we're interconnected whether we want to be or not. And so then, since I can never be fully who I'm supposed to be until you're fully who you're supposed to be, which is a Martin Luther King quote, by the way, it just is what we have to do to help each other thrive and make it through. So, like I said, I don't think it's as much about organized. There are great here in Nashville, okay, with regards to homelessness. If you look at the organizations that have been working with homeless folks for the past 100 years, 98% of them have a faith-based understanding. In Nashville, I've argued Nashville has outsourced taking care of people that are poor, that are homeless, that are hungry to the faith community for years. And so if you separate the faith community out of that, suddenly you have this big hole. And I believe that you have to have some sort of spiritual grounding. Whatever spirituality you choose is fine, to be able to do this work, because it's hard. You're dealing with difficult people. You're dealing with folks that have been traumatized and hurt. And so you've got to have some sort of grounding to help you get through it. I couldn't have done what I did the past 10 years if I hadn't had some sort of sense of bigger purpose from my standpoint. You can push on that if you want, but that's...
No, I totally agree with that. And I just really resonate with, like, whatever you think that is, whatever that higher power means to you.
Right.
Like,
I mean, certainly I am in the Christian tradition. I believe that in Jesus and God, a creating God and a Trinity and all of those kinds of things. But I am open enough to be willing to say, that's what I found works for me. If there's another expression of God that works for you, who am I to say that I'm right and you're wrong? Now, there are versions of Christians that would say, oh, I'm a pagan and I'm going to hell. And that's fine. They can do that. But, I do think that's where the AA community and the 12-step community really is together, that higher power as you best define it. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm a big believer in the 12 steps because I think it provides a framework for how folks can experience transformation or facilitate transformation. As a preacher, as a pastor, I'm in the transformation business, you know? And so that doesn't mean that I can only deal with, hey, walk down an aisle and pray a prayer and get saved. It means I want to transform your life so that you're fully everything you need to be.
So which leads me to, you say separating the faith community out leaves a giant hole. The bureaucracy, dealing with the bureaucracy, the people who make the laws.
Right.
How How hard is that?
Oh, it's a pain. It's completely a pain because, look, it's all laws are created to try to deal with problems, but the problem is sometimes they get so restrictive that you can't get anything done. I've heard a lot of podcasts of other organizations that have talked about this, Jon Stewart and some other folks that really talk about how there really is this sense where the idea behind the bureaucracy makes sense. We want to protect against fraud, abuse, and all that kind of stuff. But we spend so much time on trying to prevent the 1% who might abuse that it affects negatively everybody else. So it's tough. The hard part right now is like, okay, folks can say, well, we're going to outsource to the faith community. But as faith communities are growing smaller, as people are less and less connected, the faith communities don't have the resources that they used to have to be able to do that. And that's where we really are dependent on government spending. We couldn't have done the housing centers at City Road without government support financially.
And when one of our guests a couple of weeks ago noted that with the cuts to the budget that have come through, 40% more than 400 nonprofits are closing.
Right.
In Nashville,
Right.
in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
And where are those services going to come from?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already seeing in Nashville, and I still get folks that are on the streets from Nashville that call me up and say, so can you help us? And I'm like, I really don't live there anymore and really don't have the resources to do it. But yeah, we're seeing, I don't know who to send people to because there are just fewer and fewer people.
Jay, I want to go back to the lawmaker piece. I mean,
Right.
the law piece. I know in Nashville they passed a law that it's a felony. Are they
In Tennessee?
In Tennessee, to camp in a public park or something like that. Do I have that right?
Yeah. No.
So, but like, what happens to those people?
Well,
like,
that's-
where are they going to push them to?
We're going to put them on your farm out back. No, I mean that is the reality, and this is what's so short-sighted about it is that, okay, you've got people, and you can argue about was it bad decisions on their part or what circumstances, whatever, that led them to the streets. Okay, you convict them of a felony conviction, and suddenly they're ineligible to rent an apartment. They're ineligible. So you're just perpetuating the cycle of homelessness. In that, it's very short-sighted. The other place is, where do people go? Folks, when there is not enough housing, and we don't have enough housing in any city in America, you got to provide some place for them to go. Everybody want here? The problem is everybody wants to, like, let's say, homeless folks to just disappear.
Yeah.
And they're not going to disappear because they don't have anywhere else to go, and this is home. And I think for me, about saving the world, the biggest thing that we can do right now is to promote empathy.
Yeah. Good. Yes.
Bishop Buddy, when she was talking to the president,
Yes.
she was very right. It's basically, how can we be empathetic and get our heads in the places where these people are? I always used to say, folks will say, well, homeless people are drug addicts. And I was like, if I were on the streets, I'd probably be using too, because it's the only way to survive mentally. I mean, it is a tough thing to be told by society that we have no place for you. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing. And so we have to it really is about sort of, in terms of saving the world, it's about getting our hearts in a place where we're able to say, hey, well, we used to use a phrase in the South, you like this, there but for the grace of God go I. Mm-hmm. I was lucky. When I was 19 years old, I lost a job. I was a stupid jerk in a lot of ways. And I found myself sleeping in my car for about 4 or 5 weeks. And luckily, I had a family member who decided, hey, we've got a bedroom. Why don't you come stay with us? And that kind of turned me and got me back in a path. It took me a little while. Mm-hmm. I had to learn some things the hard way, but it got me there. I was very lucky and very blessed, but there are a lot of folks that aren't. And so how do we begin to help people to really understand the pain and the trauma and everything they're going through?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. You've already said about your quick recommendation would be to have empathy.
Empathy, yeah.
Just put yourself, walk a mile in that moccasin, basically. What is there a physical act that you can think of that would have an immediate help? Should we give money to panhandlers? Is that an empathetic act?
Yes and no. There are times when, first of all, if you're going to be worried that you're going to be taken advantage of, the answer is probably, probably what you give is going to go to somebody drinking or whatever. On the flip side, it's kind of like you still help anyway. You still do what you can. I mean, there are times when I pull up and I don't give anything along the way. So it's always hard to try to figure out what to do in that moment. I think the biggest thing is to just treat them with humanity and to be nice to them.
I'm sorry? Say, I'm sorry, I don't have anything.
I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I can't. I mean, I used to tell business owners in town here in Madison, they would say, well, we got homeless people. We don't know what to do. I said, well, why don't you just treat them nicely? Because what we found at City Road, I mean, we had a bunch of homeless people at our church every day. But because we treated people with respect and dignity, we never got robbed. Nobody ever accosted people in the parking lot. It never happened because folks understood we were there to help and that we were there to treat them with respect and dignity. And so I think that's the biggest thing. These are people one of the reasons we talk about people experiencing homelessness rather than homeless people or the homeless is that when you use that term, the homeless, you're demonizing them. You're putting them in a category, you're putting them in a box and saying, this is what they all are. They're not. Everybody has different circumstances. And so just treat them like people and hear their stories.
So, Jay, I know there still that ministry is going on at City Road. What are some local organizations that could use some help from folks that might be listening?
I have a lot of respect for an organization called Community Care Fellowship. They were the partners with us in the housing centers that we had at City Road. And CCF sometimes is known as Ken and Carol's. The people on the street know it as Ken and Carol's because Ken and Carol Power started it back 40 years ago. I have a lot of respect for them. They're based out of East Nashville. People Loving Nashville, it's run by a guy named Ryan Lampa, is doing excellent work in the area. Safe Paul, Lori Green, and the work that she's doing. Lori's this interesting person because she's doing sort of animal rescue and homeless rescue, but again, a great organization as well. All of the organizations have good intent. I may not always agree with their approaches of how they do things, but their hearts are in the right place and they're trying. But those CCF, People Loving Nashville, Open Table Nashville are the ones that I generally work with.
That's great. And by the way, we will have links to all of this in our socials and on the website. And this is a nice time to let's have a nice closing question. Our listeners know where's our second home?
Dee's Country Cocktail Lounge.
Country Cocktail
I would
Lounge.
know it well.
And that's where I met my spiritual advisor.
Exactly.
Is there a Dee's in Vermont?
So there's not one that we're hanging out at right now, but there are two potential Dee's. One is called Charlie O's, and it markets itself as a nice dive bar. And then, or a dive bar for nice people. One of the two. I'm not sure. And then there's another one that I'm looking at called Bare Naked Growler. And I have not been there yet. It's on my list. We go to also a place called Three Penny Tap Room quite a bit. And they have, Vermont has more breweries per capita than any state in the nation. So craft breweries are a big thing there. And so the Three Penny Tap Room has usually about 20 beers on tap that are local, and they have a great menu. So we go there quite often.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Food is good.
And Snack Friday is coming up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
It's
making...
always coming. Snack Friday is always coming.
That's right. Snack Friday is always coming.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you, Jay. This has been...
Thank you, Jay.
Sure.
Thanks for sharing with us, and I'm so glad to see your face again after almost a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad to
man.
We miss y'all.
Boy, do we
Well,
miss you.
We miss the people. I will say we don't. This is going to sound bad. We don't miss Nashville so much, but we miss the people, and so it is great to see y'all.
All right. Well, now before we wrap up, I forgot to show this to you. Yes, it's radio. Fine, I can't show it to you, but there will be a picture on the web. I was looking for a coaster earlier this morning, and I went, "Oh, I forgot. This is what my sister sent me these," and I put it. Here's the coaster that I have chosen. I came, I saw, I forgot what I was doing, retraced my steps, got distracted on my way back, have no idea what's going on, and now I have to pee.
That sounds like the story of
my life.
Yes.
That's a good one.
But this is true. We've got to wrap this up.
Yes.
Because, so, okay. Making a positive difference in action after the show. What Jay said.
Empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Just have a little empathy.
Just realize we're all humans.
Yeah.
I think we need to not dehumanize. I think that word the homeless.
Yeah.
And just remember we're humans.
Yeah, the homeless community. I mean, it's a community. So just like us. Upcoming shows. We're not actually sure when this show is going to air for a variety of reasons. None of which have anything to do with our not knowing what we're doing. No, that's totally.
That the fact that we have no idea what we're doing has nothing to do with the lack of a show schedule.
No. That means we could be head of the FAA. So there you go.
Or
fly with us.
Oh gosh.
Stop.
I think we need to run the
Okay, Planned Parenthood. We're going to do a Planned Parenthood. We
Hope
think.
so. We're working on that.
And allies, PFLAG,
Pride Special.
Pride Special.
We have actually secured a commitment from Olivia Hill. It's going to join us as
You
a guest.
didn't tell me. Oh my
Good
gosh,
deal.
I'm so happy.
I
I
just
am
found
so
out.
happy. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be amazing.
All right, wait. And when we tell you who Olivia Hill is, for those of you outside Nashville, you're going to go, "Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome!" Thank you, Kelly. Equine Therapy Part 2.
Okay. We're going to have Lynn Thomas from Horses for Mental Health and Arenas for Change, and she's going to talk about filling your cup, about burnout and how we fill our cup.
Ooh, man. Go ahead. Give them the website and socials roundup. Kelly.
You can find us on the World Wide Web at frontporchaf.com.
You impress me every time. You've got a mind like a steel trap. A mind like a
I
steel
have to
trap.
pee.
All right. Okay. Tell them about our socials.
Okay, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and anywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime.
But
never,
ever. And really, please share us with your friends. Send us information about things you want to hear. We are open to it because we love y'all.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Get your feedback
Okay.
and have a great
I'm
week.
having a drink. All right. Until next time.
Cheers, y'all.
No. When we gather there's a script. We have a script for the last Jiminy Christmas 30 seconds of this show.
Let me finish for you.
Okay.
Until next time, when we gather on our audio front porch, grab a drink and
solve all the problems of the world. Cheers,
Cheers,
y'all.
y'all.